Welcome to the Expect Success Podcast, a presentation of GeorgeBalek.com with your host, George Balek. This podcast is for all things personal development. Don't expect success, prepare for it. Please welcome your host, George Balek.
Welcome to Expect Success at GeorgeBalek.com. Now, in addition to listening to our podcast, you could also view the video format on YouTube at GeorgeTube.com. Art Williams is an American insurance executive living in Palm Beach, Florida. Now, as you may or may not know, Art is the founder of A.L. Williams & Associates, known as Primerica Financial Services, since 1991. He also ventured into professional sports, owning the Birmingham Barracudas of the Canadian Football League and the Tampa Bay Lightning of the National Hockey League for brief periods. Art Williams is a self-made billionaire. Now, you might wonder, how could a high school football coach build one of the largest insurance companies in the world, starting with only 85 people? Well, listen to Art.
I believe the single most important thing you develop in your lifetime is a positive attitude. The glass has always got to be half full. You got to look for the good in all situations. You got to expect your people to be positive. You can't ever let your meetings turn into a gripe session. See, folks, I believe you can overcome every problem in business. You can overcome financial problems. You can overcome personal problems. You can overcome health problems, business problems, sales problems, recruiting problems, and still be all you want to be in business. But you can't ever overcome an attitude problem. The moment you give up on you, you're dead as a doornail. You've got to develop a positive, enthusiastic outlook on life. Negative people just wear you out. They just drain your dadgum batteries. Hey, people in America won't follow dead, dull, disillusioned, frustrated dadgum crybabies. If you want to win in this country, you got to be positive. You got to be excited. You got to be aggressive. You got to be tough. The greatest definition I ever heard, I thought about this 10 million times when I wanted to quit along the way of a winter. This guy said almost everybody in America can stay excited for 2 or 3 months. A few people can stay excited for 2 or 3 years, but a winner will stay excited for 30 years or ever how long it takes to win. You got to always be positive. You got to always be positive. See, positive people, folks, are just like a dadgum magnet. People are just drawn to you, right? Because there's so few of them out there. You know, when you're talking to your people, folks, don't ever be negative with it. You can tell your people 100 wonderful things about them and one negative thing, and you know what they remember? That one negative thing, right? Always be positive. Every human being, every piece of flesh on this planet is a worrier. They fear. The most powerful people in the world are positive for just minutes at a time, or days at a time, or hours at a time. Folks, you won't meet very many people in your lifetime as positive and powerful as Art Williams. Do you know one of my goals before they plant me in the ground? I would like to be positive, totally positive, for one 24-hour period just before I die. Right now, as positive and powerful as I am, I'll get excited and I'll go for an hour or 2 or 3, and then I'll start worrying. I'll start fearing something. It's your ability to deal with that and not let it destroy you that will determine whether you're successful or not.
That's awesome. Now, for more from Art Williams, simply search YouTube. And be sure to check out his website, artwilliamsbest.com. His famous book, The A.L. Williams Story, is available at his website and or Amazon.com. And I'll be sure to leave a link in the show notes. And remember, as the late great Jim Rohn used to say, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Today you've been hanging out with Art Williams. Keep up the momentum. Subscribe to our newsletter so you never miss another episode. We'll catch you on the next show, and thanks a million for listening. See ya.
Thanks so much for listening to this episode of the Expect Success Podcast with your host, George Balek. If you enjoyed today's podcast, please rate, subscribe, and review. And find more great content online at GeorgeBalek.com and on Facebook and Twitter at George Balek. We'll catch you next time. And remember, don't just expect success, prepare for it.